Fire King deck profile. I am using proxies again for some of the cards, but most of them are fine. This is a very, very budget deck profile. In fact, there's a surprise happening, but it's under $50 or around $50 to build this deck. You start off with 3 of the Ponics, pretty standard. It gets you your Sanctuary. It's overall just the second best starter except the Olconics, but Olconics is very expensive. As you saw, the one Arvata, this, whenever it's popped, it revives, and then destroys during end phase, but it also negates a monster effect. Second best normal summon. Then you run 2 Kieran. Now, most people run 3, but this is already a 43 to 45 card deck. So you only run 2. You can by all means run a 3rd. By all means. Go ahead and play the 3rd. Honestly, I can't find my 3rd, but I've been playtesting with 2, and it has been doing pretty well with just the 2. Then you run 2 Grunics. Some people run 3. Honestly, opening hand Grunics, you know you're going to do well, but there are also quite a few other ways to get to the Grunics, so it's not that big a deal not running the maximum number. But that one's also, like, if you really want to, you can run 3. Then you got 1 of the slightly less angry Big Chicken, the High Avatar Grunics. This is pretty standard, especially if you have Olconics, because it just special summons from deck. It's also a great board wipe, and Fire King Sanctuary can protect some of your cards from being destroyed off of the Grunics during standby phase. You run the one Snake Eye Ash. Yeah, it's Snake Eye Fire King. You're gonna question my decisions for card choices here in a second, but one Snake Eye Ash. Also, again, standard. You, especially after it's limiting, it's all you really can do. Can't run anything else. You got the one Poplar. Poplar also limited, but it's still just, again, another body that you can have on board to either link off or get into, or climb through your monsters. There's another card that I'm running for this that is really going to make you question my deck building choices, because nobody else plays it. Nobody plays Fire King Snake Eye anymore either, but we don't talk about that. Then you got 3 Snake Eye Oak. Again, if you have an Oak and a way to destroy a monster to, like if you have a, if you opening hand like Kieran, Ash, or Arvata, or hell, even Grunics. If you open Kieran, Grunics, Ponics, Oak, and then Kieran, Grunics, Ponics, Oak. Yeah, and then another card, you can definitely destroy the Grunics with the Kieran, summon the Ponics, normal summon Oak, get for extension. Not a bad card to open. I did once open all 3 Oak, a Ponics, and another card that's coming up later. That was that wasn't very fun, but that is very unlikely to happen, and that was probably just coincidence. I mean, I've also opened up starting hand and Exodia, like, full, and I was running one of each, so it's not like none of that's happened before. 2 Snake Eye Birch. Birch, nobody runs this. It is 24 cents for a prismatic secret rare. Like, nobody runs Birch. But it's a card on field that you can summon if you have a fire monster on field, which is all but, like, main deck, Veiler, extra deck. There's 4 in your extra deck that you don't really even go into. Like, it's not something that people run, but it's also something that is very easy to have on board, and it is very easy to monster climb with. Then you got your 2 Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon. Also, these are just the backs of proxies. Like, this is my 10E deck. Honestly, I don't like Sword Soul 10E that much. I mean, it's alright, but it's not great as a board breaker deck. I also haven't really grinded it out, but I've tried doing that and it has not ended well. But the 2 Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon, I have opened this card once. It's great to, if you get through, like, Snake Eye Ash Poplar, the, Birch. So, like, what you want to do with the Snake Eyes is have Ash Poplar, send Poplar Ash to grave. I'm just gonna put them back in here. Get the oak, bring back Poplar. No, wait. Get the Flamberge. Sorry, that's, wow. No, that's if you have Snake Eyes the next card coming up. Snake Eyes Diabell Star. That's if you have Diabell Star. Sorry, I got my lines very confused. That's on me. My bad. But 1 Snake Eyes Diabell Star, you summon it off of, or you place it to your field off of a card that's coming up. Really great to get rid of your opponent's cards that you really don't like to see on the field off of its effect to special summon itself by placing another fire monster in your spell or trap zone, which your like your Snake Eye Ash or Birch, something like that, they can then, if you've already used, because you probably already used their effect, next turn can send it and then another card. But Diabell Star, what it does is, it does that as its second effect, but its first effect is placing this card and then an opponent's in the spell and trap zone. Don't mind my hands. We don't talk about that. By placing the Diabell Star in spell or trap zone and then an opponent's monster in spell or trap zone. Yeah, overall pretty good card. You can run more than one, but I already run quite a few cards in this deck, and Fire Kings doesn't really work too great with a 60 card pile. Afterwards, Diabell Star, the Black Witch, just another option to go into off of a later card, just another option overall. You don't need to run this, but I do. I personally like it. Again, never have opened Diabell Star, but I still like to run it. Next, standard hand traps, 3 Ash, like I said earlier, the 3 Veiler. This is one of the non-fire cards. Why do I say a lot? My bad. I just did it again. Well, holy hell. Can I start a sentence without saying Okay. I almost said it again. Veiler, good card. Ash, good card. This deck is pretty much bestial proof, because, I'm not gonna say it. You run few light or dark monsters, so they'll have to probably banish their own if you don't use Veiler. But moving on, trying so hard not to say you run 2 Sanctuary, 1 Island, the 3 Stooges of the deck, if you will, which technically the 3 Stooges would be. Ignore that. But Sanctuary, protection, also placing the island, popping Ponyx to get Grunix, basic combo lines of Fire King. But I feel like you can run a second Fire King island. I would probably side deck the second island though, instead of running it main board, because you don't want to be stuck with just an island. That is not the most optimal, that is not the most desirable. Let's not say that. Let's not do that either. But Fire King Island, good card, not good on its own unless you have the Sanctuary, because it is very poppable and then it destroys everything on your board. That's not the best. Also, I don't know why, but whenever I got my structure decks, one of them just came with the C, not there. That wasn't me, I promise. But, well, I can't stop saying it. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Huh, who knows? I hate myself. 2 Skyburn, 2 Circle. I like Circle. I don't understand the people that just run 1 of each. You can't recycle them. So, I don't know. Do you realistically need more? No, because your opponent will probably concede. But I just like having more than these, more than one, because I do think Fire Kings can grind very well and very easily. This deck was inspired by Dinkabooey and his YCS Birmingham win, and how he did kind of rely on the grind games that Fire King can put up, and destroying your opponent's monsters and breaking them down. Next up, Dramatic Snake Eye Chase. I did run 3, but that didn't get me very far. You can very easily run 3 of these. I just prefer to only run 2. Dramatic Snake Eye Chase, placing the Snake Eyes Diabell Star, or Diabell Star the Black Witch, something like that. I really hate myself, by the way, if you couldn't tell. I can't stop saying drop a like if you want me to stop saying and subscribe if you want me to get speech therapy. Yeah, shameless plug right there. I feel no remorse. Dramatic Snake Eye Chase. Overall, pretty good tech card, in my opinion. I could very well be very wrong about this, and you could just disagree with me entirely, and that's alright. Let's fix that camera. I really like the Everyone's King card that came out with the Crimson King structure decks, that's what they were. 3 Bonfire. Again, I am getting all of these cards, and I will re-upload a deck profile with all of the cards that I get. Well, can't stop saying it, can I? But I don't have them right now, so of course, proxying the Bonfire, just writing down the rest on the back of the cards, because sometimes I get really lazy. But Bonfire, pretty standard, gets you your Snake Eye Ash. Now if you open just Bonfire and no other starters, that can get you that you are in trouble. But I've never had that happen with this version of the deck. But good card, Bonfire. Then one Sinful Spoils of Doom. However that last part is said, that is the actual word, by the way. This, you only run this as a target for Poplar. That's it. You run this as Poplar's target to set, because there's no more original Sinful Spoils, Snake Eye. That one was deserved, because nobody runs this, and I honestly don't know what to say besides it helps with your Snake Eye Diabellstar or Diabellstar the Black Witch. You can cut this card. Honestly, this is, if I'm going to side out a card or cut a card from this deck to add another Kieran or something like that, I will cut this card on the spot. That one is just a Poplar target. Called by, said again, by the way. Called by, another quick play. Thrust does not work with this deck. You run two, like, the Circle and Skyburn, called by, all quick plays. Thrust doesn't work too great with this one. You could run Talent. That Talent works. But the one called by, you can run Cross Out. Again, I just don't have those cards. Then for traps, 3 and Perm. You might be thinking I'm pretty crazy for only running 9 hand traps. I have Nibiru, but it's in my Blue Eyes deck. Also, Nibiru's alright. Against combo decks, it can, if you miss timing on Malice, then you just wasted a nib. You just gave them another body on board. If you do it against Ryzeal, they can just bring back their detonator with like the aggregator, or no, the Eclipse Twins, and equip the aggregator. You can, against rogue decks that summon quite a bit, like Blue Eyes, it's good. But I definitely side those and not main board them. But Imperm, Ash, and Valor are all good made board cards. So yeah, that was main deck. Run 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. Yeah, 43. I was right. 43 card main deck for your extra deck. Wow, I really can't stop saying it. Some of these cards you are not going to agree with, and that is fine. This is, you don't rely on your extra deck too much, and this was made whenever I was running Pot of Extravagance. In it, you only use like 3 monsters, 4 or 5. You don't use a lot. You got 1 Dark Rebellion. I also was running like Budong and Rangbali. You can't use this anymore. Instead, I would use Kiki Nogashi Fucho instead of the Dark Rebellion for your Ponix, Ash, Poplar, Birch, Oak. You have Effect Veiler. You have quite a few rank 1s. So this one, a definite cut. You run, but again, it's less than 50. It's like around a $50-$60 deck right here. But you run 3 Coach King Giant Trainer. This is a card that comes in the structure deck, if you didn't know for some reason. But this is, you don't go into this unless absolutely necessary. It's just not great. Not great at all. 2 Grunix Eternity. Summon 1, you circle it, something like that, to after you board wipe, you circle it, summon back the Fire King monsters up to the number of materials that were attached to it. Then you can summon another one to board wipe again. Good cards, you can summon them after or off the effect of Sanctuary. Now this one I like this card. I really do. Gigantic Champion Sargus. I need to look up the price on this. But it's a fire machine. Uses 2 or more level 8s. The first monsters, or its first effect. First effects don't really matter. It says that you can also exceed summon this card using a Spriggan's Exceeds monster you control, transfer the materials. Then while it has the material, you can add 1 Spriggan's or Therian monster from your deck to your hand. Those you aren't going to use. Can you, if you really wanted to use like a Spriggan's monster instead of a Dark Rebellion? I guess. I don't know Spriggan cards. So that might just not work at all. But the last effect. If a material is detached from a monster on the field, except during damage step, you can target 1 card on the field and either destroy it or return it to the hand. That's the effect. If you use Grunix to pop a spell while you have Sargus on board, the Sargus will then pop any card on the field. It is a target. But if you're going up against Blue Eyes and they have a True Light, you can pop the True Light. If you're going up against Malice, you can pop Malice and Underground, or you can just return it to the hand, which is really good if they have like an Eclipse Twins, which once it gets into the graveyard, you can just send it back to the extra deck. No problem whatsoever, and then just avoid the effect altogether. And you will definitely have extra level 8s left over, because there's the Snake Eyes Diabell Star, the Flamberge, the Grunix, the Kieran, the other Grunix. Overall, I love this card. And Fire King. Is it optimal? Probably not. But is this also a super budget deck? Yes. And I still like the fact that it can pop off of another card. Indigo Eyes, Beat Stick. You can't even use this because it requires dragon monsters. I'm just realizing that, but again, I made this extra deck whenever I was using Pot of Extravagance. Cut these 2, add 2 more Prometheans, or Sunlit Wolf, Hida. Cut these cards. Don't use them unless you want to use Pot of Extravagance and hope that your opponent chooses these 2. But these are not good. Don't run them unless you're using Pot of Extravagance, but you could also use anything. You could use Rafflesia and a Trap Trick, just in case. 1. Double A Zeus. You could use Typhon. My Typhon is in my binder. If you couldn't tell, the setup is not how it usually is for any of the other videos, because I'm not at my house right now. That is not an invite to rob me, because there are still people at my house, but I am not at my house. Zeus, you could use Typhon. Cut one of the Indigo Eyes for the Typhon. The 1 Almirage, you link this off if you have no other place, or if you just need the Ponix or Arvada off the board if you normal summon them. But it does give you, yeah, you tribute the card, then target 1 monster you control, and it cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects this turn. So, link off into Almirage, target Stargist, or any of the Garunics. Yeah, quick effect during like draw phase or standby phase. Tribute it, and then before the Garunics get summoned, the other Garunics is, or the Kirin is protected, and then you can exceed, and then you can use the Sanctuary to destroy the Ponix to keep the other one alive, and then you have a 3 material Garunix Eternity Healing of the Fire King. That was a lot of words. Okay, Hina, standard. Wow, is that a chip in the... Yeah, that's a chip in the card. Oh, alright. And the sleeves are disgusting. Ew, alright, why? Oh, okay, this is almost a half-hour video. Wow. Okay, anyway, these 2. Good cards. Standard. Salmon Great Sunlight Wolf. Also just good. And then last one, Promethean Princess. Again, cut one in the Indigo. Use another Promethean Princess. Just do that. Do not run Indigo Eyes. That was a lapse of judgment in my part. And then you gotta have the Everyone's King. If you don't have an Everyone's King, what are you doing? What? I don't understand what you're doing with playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, why would you not play Yu-Gi-Oh! Unless you have Everyone's King? Anyway, Blue Eyes deck dropping soon. Yeah, actually I have it in the deck box that I have it pressed up again, or that I have this set up on. I just have to film the video now. Also, I have an editor. They can't, they, her, it. Anyway, my editor doesn't know how to send me videos right now. I should have had a Ryziel deck, but I don't. I'll post that. It's a lot shorter video than this one. This is half an hour. Yeah, let's go ahead and end it. I can't stop saying it's because I said so many times. Anyway, drop a like, subscribe if you wanna win more Yu-Gi-Oh games and never have to see Fire King Snake Eye at your locals or YCS.